All I have to say is, it's about time. Cole Sports presents on the daily. Well, welcome back to the channel, VIP. Cole Johnson's right here in front of you. On the daily, it's on tap, presented by Cole Sports. It is Friday. Yes, and we're almost close to Thanksgiving. Goodness, time is flying by. And you already know how we get down on Friday. And I wanted to do it special for this episode. Something good happened. Last weekend, Derek Jeter, the owner of the Marlins, who's already made waves as the owner of the Marlins, made even more waves by hiring Kim Ng, the former assistant general manager of so many different teams, chiefly amongst them the Yankees during the late 90s era. She now is the new general manager of the Marlins. I'll talk more about how significant that is a little later. But we're going to get into this week's episodes. Email sports fan. CC professional sports organizations. Such of email. It's time. Body of email. Here is the skinny of it all. It should not have taken till the 11th month of 2020 to actually say that a sports franchise hired somebody of the female persuasion to run an organization. It should not have taken this long. It should have happened long before now. And in Kim Ng's case, she's 51. She should have gotten the position long before now. Probably, I would say, right in the midst or at the end of when the Yankees were having their dynastic run, because she was the assistant general manager during that time. Normally, if there is anybody who is considered a brain trust and a genius or a genius to be, teams don't want to pluck off of that winning organization to get that person on their squad. And if Kim Ng was a man, she would have been a GM probably around 2000, 2001, 2002. But no, she had to wait 20 more years to get this position. And it's a shame, because what I have noticed and what I've seen is that it is a boys' club. It seriously and sincerely is. It is a boys' club. Because when you hear us talk about sports, it basically is a boys' club type of thing, right? You hear me, VIP. You understand what I'm saying, man. If women actually participated in any way, shape, form, or fashion, if they even get a foot in the door to any men's professional organization, in any way, shape, form, or fashion, but she's not as good as a man, though. I mean, it doesn't matter. It could be as a basketball player. I mean, take the WNBA, for instance. When it became somewhat popular in the late 90s, you had Cheryl Swoops, you had Rebecca Lobo, you had Cynthia Cooper. And the talk was, well, they're not as good as a man. And Cynthia, and this is why I love Cynthia Cooper. I always loved her. Long before she actually was in the WNBA. She one time said, quote, "The way I learned how to play basketball was to play against guys and play against boys. And I would shake all of them down because, well, they couldn't handle my dribble, they couldn't handle my handles, and they couldn't handle my speed. And whenever they thought they could get with me, I showed them otherwise." Close quote. And that's how it should be. It should be that if you're skilled enough, you could just break somebody down. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't have to be on the court or on the field or on the diamond. It could be in the booth. Play-by-play announcers like Pam Ward or a dime a dozen. It could be like color commentators. Color commentators. Jessica Mendoza is a prime example. People railed against her as soon as she got behind the mic at ESPN. It could be as head coaches or head coaching candidates. VIP, you know where I'm about to go here. How long has it been that the name Becky Hammon has been mentioned? How many times have you heard the sentence, quote, Becky Hammond is going to be the first woman NBA head coach? Close quote. You probably have heard that often, right? I mean, so often that you can almost verbatim say it year after year. And it's been mentioned for going on like 6 years now. And yet she is still on the Spurs bench to the point where she has tenure. She's the lead assistant there. Now that Tim Duncan is there, there were people saying, well, Tim Duncan is going to get a head coaching job before Becky Hammon does. Well, Hammon has more coaching experience than Duncan does. So why would Duncan get the jump ahead of Hammon? Is it because he played in the league and he's a man? If so, that's not how it should be. It should be if the person is person, Person is qualified, man or woman. Period. The only analyst of any sort that I don't hear that sort of talk in terms of, well, nah, she doesn't belong because she's not a man, is Doris Burke. I mean, she's pretty much done it all. I haven't heard her do play-by-play. I know she's done it, but I haven't heard her do play-by-play. She's been sideline reporter. She's been analyst. She's been a color person that I've heard on TV. You don't hear that she doesn't belong talk. Well, I should say you don't hear it anymore. Of course, you heard it when she started in the game, but she long proved that she belonged. See, that's the conversations that we've been having, that it has made qualified people like Kim Ing moot to the sports world, because it's like, well, okay, she may know baseball, but she's a woman. So what? So what if Kim is a female? Does she know the sport? Does she know how to balance a budget? Can she draft a team? Has she been around a championship team? The answer to all those questions is yes. So if you're going to pluck an assistant GM from a successful franchise like the Yankees, the most successful baseball franchise in MLB's history, if Kim was Ken, he would have been a general manager on somebody's team long before now. But that isn't Ken, it's Kim. And she's been hated on. She's been a scout. She's been an executive other than an assistant GM. She's been an assistant GM on many different occasions, and she's been on many different teams. The Dodgers, the White Sox, and the Yankees are three of the teams that I can think of off the top of my head that she's been a part of the front office in. So I give the kudos to Jeter. I give the kudos to Cap. He actually blew the ceiling off those organizations with his hire. And I love that. I love that he did. I love that he looked at this person and said, you are qualified. In fact, you are more than qualified. Your time is long since been. And I know this because I have personal relationship with you, and I've known you for over a couple decades. So I know you could do this because I saw what you did when I was a player. It's that simple. This woman has been in baseball 30 years. 30, not 3, 30. And because she was a woman, no team until now had the gumption, the temerity, the unmitigated gall to say, run our club? Really? I mean, no team out there, no team.
You've got to be joking me.
No team thought that she was well enough and capable enough to handle being a general manager of their organization.
You for real?
No team thought that she was willing, able, and capable, and competent, and intelligent, and successful enough, and has had the pedigree built to run a franchise.
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That's the problem I have with sports at times. It's formulaic in the positive sense and in the negative sense. Normally, you have well, if somebody is successful in that franchise, you pluck them out. That's the normal thing. You know, in football and basketball, you normally have that play runs well, let's do it until they solve it. And if a team is successful, let's pluck the talent dry. All 30 MLB teams until 2020 had the opportunity to do this with Kim Ng. That did not happen. Not until late last week. November 2020, and we still have glass ceilings. Don't you see that there's a problem here? You know, I had a conversation with Barbershop Jay. I love that brother. And one day I'm gonna talk with him because we have to chop it up. And he mentioned about how women basketball players are treated with disrespect and utter disdain simply because they're women. And we both agreed, you know, it's a shame that we see these women and we see them play a game similar to that of a guy or similar to that of the men's game. But the funny thing is, the way the game was created, basketball, I mean, a woman actually plays it more fundamentally sound than a man does. And because it's not exciting and the athleticism is different, because women are athletic, but the athleticism is different because it's not as explosive and it's not as exciting, but it's a little more, basically to me, it's a little more like watching Princeton play back in the 80s and early 90s, where it's just all fundamentals and backdoor cuts and layups and the right shot has to be taken. It's more along the lines of it's a team-wide, team thought-out basketball, and it's more cerebrally done than physically done. And that is why I believe a woman in a professional organization can kill it. Let me use another phrase or terminology or colloquialism. This is why I believe a woman can actually do the job and do it as well, if not better than men can. We have women owners. Some of them actually earned the position and not had it inherited. So it is not an uncommon thing to see a woman own an organization. But don't you think it's far past time for a woman to run one? I mean, they're running a whole lot of organizations that aren't in sports. Don't you think a woman who is well versed in knowing sports can do the same? It's time that sports wakes up and they have to see talent like Kim Ng and introduce her to upper front office management long before she's in her 50s. Cole Johnson, Cole Sports with a Z.com. Now, if you want this shirt that you see right in front of you, the description box below has all the details as to where to get it and how to style it. And if you're saying, well, wait a minute, you know, it's like what the James Brown song said, this is a man's world. And in a professional league, it is all about the men. The women have their leagues. They need to be separated and they need to do it there. Or you agree with me and you believe the best minds should run organizations, whether it's a man or a woman. In either case, like this video and share it to everybody because this is important. Comment below because I really do enjoy your comments and I want to hear what you have to say, VIP. Don't forget, hit that notification bell and subscribe to this channel for any and all premier content that emanates from here. Well, thank you so much, VIP. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And to my darling wife, I love you. Happy anniversary, baby. This is Cole Johnson here to say that I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And this has been yet another installment of Cole Sports on the visual and on the daily.